Find the center front of your skirt. It's at the seam. Measure 2¼ inches from either side of the center front and make yourself a mark. Next, we're going to fold the skirt in half. Find the center back, bring it to the center front, and you'll see the side seams on the right and the left, and then make 2 marks on the side backs. Now you're looking for the center back of the skirt is where it overlaps, not where the bars are, as the size might adjust depending on the dancer. So you bring the center back to the center front, and so you find your side seam and your side back. Next, we add the elastic loops to the skirt waistband. Cut the elastic so there are 4 holes, and then fold it in half so the holes line up, and pin it to your mark. You can sew this on machine or by hand. Now, the machine has much stronger stitches than by hand, and so I use the machine. Went forward and back. To make sure it's really attached and not loose, very strong stitching, I went forward and back again. And turn your threads. Next is to add buttons to the bodice. You want to do that at the waistline, which kind of goes through the middle of the bodice. You don't want to follow the shape at the bottom. So you line up the center front of the bodice with the center front of the skirt. And then make sure the skirt waistband is high enough that it's not poking out below the bodice. Check on both sides. Next, you're going to mark where the elastic loop hole meets where the bodice is. And you can't sew through the hard plastic bone, so it's okay to tip the elastic a little bit and go off to the side. You have your first 2 marks in the center, and you're going to work your way out to mark the other 4. Now I have my 6 buttons marked, and I'll start sewing them on. You want to choose a button that is smooth and flat because you don't want it to be sticking up and poking you in the ribs later. You also don't want to sew through to the outside. I usually keep my hand back there, and if I've gone through it far enough to poke my finger, I know I've gone too far. When you start to sew the button on, you want to do it in an X rather than an equal sign. You do crisscross, crisscross, crisscross 3 times. And when you've done your 3 sets of crisscross, you loop the thread around underneath the button to create a little bit of lift or space between the button and the bodice so that the elastic has somewhere to be. Again, don't sew to the outside. Keep your finger back there so you can tell if you've gone all the way through. Then attach the elastic to the buttons. Push it through the slit in the elastic. That'll help the elastic stay flat and be comfortable to wear. And here it is, all 6 of the buttons through the elastic. And ready to go.